Alright, looks like we're live. So, somebody over on Discord pointed out that we bought these planes back in 2020, and I've never flown it. I have never flown it. I have had the opportunity to go up in a Kodiak in real life back when they weren't Daher at that point. They were like Cicada or Sokida. I can't remember what their original name was. Anyway, we're here at one of the southernmost points of the San Juan island chain on the west coast of the United States. Now, it sounds like we're head towards South America, but we're actually towards North America. I had on 2020 a massive freeware scenery that came with like 25 airports. If I can find it, I'll link it in the comments. I checked, or I didn't check. I'm thinking of something else, but I haven't looked and I haven't checked to see if it works with 24 yet. So anyway, let's get started. Just give me one moment. I'm going to close the door so I don't wake up the house. Okay. Grab my microphone and my headphones. Why are you beeping? Alright, here we go. Sorry, I was getting beeps from my laptop and it says it wasn't charging. I'm not on my laptop, but I need it to stay open for my son. Alright. Anyway, just a quick audio check real quick. We'll see where we're at. Oh, cool. Check it out. We got a new subscriber, everybody. That's awesome. So, just to make things a little more pristine, we're going to make it a little earlier because it's like nighttime here. Let's do the sun up so we can get those crazy views. Okay, so I've never flown this before, so I'm going to have to freestyle off the top what to do. Oh, here we go. And we're living right now. I wonder, this is kind of like the caravan, so let's I recognize the beep after. I wonder if the stock caravan does that or not. That's weird. Wonder what's happening there. Alright, well, let's get started. Alright, so ignition. Oh, I gotta fix my controls. I forgot. Microsoft Flight Simulator likes to throw me off my controls. Now, for those of you that were wondering, this right here is not what this. I had a friend convert the sensors from behind this rocker into a set of rudder panels. I've put pictures in the Discord, but I've seen people post pictures almost like a Reddit post or a Twitter post on YouTube, so I'll figure out how to do that and show you guys my equipment. But yeah, it has some of the internals off of this side, and then it goes into like a box, and then there's a thick wire that comes out to like I'm assuming what's like a potentiometer or something that controls the pedals. I don't know. It's very brilliant. I only paid $80, and they're made out of stainless steel. They're very nice, but I need a better controller for it, like a more elegant solution if I'm going to use this moving forward. Because I didn't have as many issues in 2020, but I do have some issues in 24 with these pedals. That's so annoying, isn't it? And gotta get these controls working again. We may not be able to do this airplane with these rudder pedals. I know that I put this joystick on here, and I can't for the life of me remember how it goes at all. And then the HOTAS. It's one of these. I really should have paid better attention when this was getting set up. Alright. Let's see. Oh, I know what the problem is. Controls. Let me see. HOTAS. Let's do. I forget how to. Trash. And let's trash this one too. I forget. I think there's something that needs to be deleted for the 2020 plan. Oh, there we go. Alright. Yeah, it's pedals, and what's funny is on the Piaggio, I only have for some reason it only accepts the left side. Alright. So let's get, I know this thing has some bright lights on multiplayer. I wonder if it. Alright. Let's get that humming sound off. Sorry, ramp agent, you gotta get run over. Alright, so we're gonna see if we can catch some of those sweet Microsoft Flight Simulator 24 views. Wow, this thing is very sensitive. I have no experience to how this compares to the real aircraft. So, we'll have to see. Oh, wow, I thought this was the taxiway. I just picked the back of a route that I used to take, and like I'm gonna fly it in reverse. We're just gonna kind of land it, check out different airports, and Seattle should be off to our west when we get started. All right, yes, it should be on this half of the screen if I remember correctly. All right, and we're off. Buddy. Alright, not the most beautiful departure, but I'll take it for now. Yeah, so this is beautiful downtown Seattle's going to be off in that direction. We actually might be on the other side of the mountains. So we'll explore like the Vancouver and surrounding Bay Area. One thing I can really appreciate about Flight Simulator 2024 is you know, they really did do a good job at the nightlife here, and ray tracing is a nice add-on for this game, especially like this global illumination style. And I'm ray tracing on AMD, by the way. It's been just fine.
500.
Yep. Oh, Tim, awesome. Thank you for joining us again. Go climbing away. Alright, now we're really cruising. This airplane does not like my little flaps lever I have here. It needed to be worked twice. I'll head out over the Tacoma River, or I'm sorry, Tacoma Narrows. Yeah, so I'm curious, how are you guys over on Twitch, anybody that's playing this game, how are you getting on with like less than or equal to 8 gigabytes of video memory? Because I've been trying to help, and this is part of the reason why I want to do my little hardware series, is since I'm fortunate enough to have like, what do we have, like 12 different GPUs that were all made in the last 3 years. You know, I want to test some of this stuff because I noticed that it does essentially boil down to like 2 types of flight simmers, right? You have the casual casual flight simmer who may go out and purchase, like, this is the Thrustmaster TCA yoke I'm using on right now for this aircraft. I'm having some issues with the Bruner on 24 with 2020 aircraft, but I haven't really taken a chance to play with it yet. But no, I'm curious because I have a friend who has a 4060 Ti 8GB card. I'm pretty sure it's... I know it's either... I'm pretty sure it's a 4060, but... even at 1080p, there's some situations where he can't get a break. Like it'll drop to like 11 FPS with like this rhythmic. If you, I have the performance monitor open here just because I've been really curious how this game responds under certain situations, and I'm also, you know, if anything weird pops up. But anyway, back to the 4060 card, he'll have like a rhythmic spike that pops up like every, I don't know, like 30 milliseconds apart, maybe. I can't remember what this window represents here. I think it's a whole second or 2 seconds. I read it on the forum what this time window is here. Anyway, yeah, it'll pop up like boop, 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 and also on main thread. So I'm assuming that there's 2 graphs here, your GPU and main thread. I'm not sure how these are assessed. But yeah, I mean it's tough. It's tough because the game looks fine, graphic wise. Even on his system at 1080p, it looks great. And on this game, when you enable DLSS, sometimes some people are more sensitive to it than others, but sometimes these information gets all blurry. It's not that good. And on my 4090 computer right here, I do not use DLSS at all on Flight Simulator. Let's violate McCord Field's airspace. Yeah, sinuses are still really messed up. I just realized you're on Twitch, too. It is brutal, man. I don't have to deal with that nasal spray anymore. Thank God. That stuff hurt. And, yeah, it was not fun. Oh, that sounds terrible. I just heard the feedback. I am so sorry for the ear rape, everybody. But I mean, look at this. It's crazy that we can have this in our living rooms, right? In our bedrooms. I'm in a bedroom, or what would normally be, I guess, if there was a larger family in this house, what would be a children's bedroom. This is where we have a couple of the PCs. It's funny because, like, there are some moments where, this game looks like it's a Roblox game. Isn't that, what do you guys call that in America? Isn't that like a Walmart right there? But then there's other times where it looks absolutely incredible. Oh, the tooltips. So when I'm just playing by myself, I turn them off. I turned them on for the Fokker videos, and they may have always been on this computer. I don't remember, to be honest. I don't have them running on the machine next to me, but anyway, I find I try to give as much information as possible, and I don't know exactly why I picked the. Oh, now I know why, because Chris wanted it. But yeah, it's basically so he can see what the buttons say, and anybody else who comes along, they can see what the buttons are supposed to say. Like, obviously some of them aren't labeled correctly.
Stop.
I wonder if there's anything in that mountain range up there. Oh, I know where we could go. Let's see this. We could get into this gap right here. Do a little bush flying. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Kodiaks are powerful, man. Like I said, I've never flown one in real life, but I did get to sit in one while it was flying. And it was pretty loaded down with people. I mean, it had 2 pilots and 4 or maybe 5 people plus our stuff, and it could climb, man. They were pulling like 2,800 feet per minute climb out of Aspen, Colorado. Yeah, they got up to maybe 3,000 or 4,000 feet, and then or I'm sorry, it would be probably around. Uh, they're at what, like 4,000 foot elevation, so maybe around like 10,000 feet, and we had to wear a oxygen mask for it. Not for the whole time, but we had to put it on for probably about 20 minutes. Oh, I did it on purpose, man. So we went vacationing there about 3 years ago, and I knew that there was one that operated into another area. I don't want to say where we went because it was my parents, and they don't they're not exactly thrilled about me even saying where I live now. So we were going to another part of Colorado that this Kodiak serviced, and we could have drove, we could have done all sorts of stuff to get there, but I really, 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 really wanted to be on a small aircraft and in the mountains like that, and it was fun. My wife, not so much. She didn't enjoy herself, which was surprising because she had a blast in one of our family friends, Piper Cherokee. Yeah, we have a friend who he has like 12,000 hours as a real world pilot, but has never ever worked for like an airliner or airline, and has never flown that size of aircraft. He has flown for money, like as a commercial pilot, but I think he was on a King Air, and then what was the other one? It had a, what was it? The Duchess? No, it wasn't the Duchess. It was the Chieftain, I think. Yeah, it was a Piper Navajo, is what he flew. And I'm pretty sure it was a turboprop version. They're fast. You are right. They are fast. Yeah, apparently. So when he, uh, if I'm not mistaken, he flew the Chieftain for Cal Fire. I think it was for some type of government thing. They are very good looking aircraft. Yeah, I'm looking at some for sale. You could get one for a crisp $250,000 US. You know, if you guys want to subscribe, that would be amazing. And I promise, if I ever become the owner of a Piper Navajo, I'll come in. If even if I got 100,000 subscribers, I'll make 100,000 flights. I mean, doesn't that sound great? I don't think anybody who's here participating in this live stream would object to that many flights. Sorry, let me read that. You have a 3060 Ti 12 gig and a Core i5 10th generation. Yeah, man. That'll more than likely run it well enough. We were I don't know how long you've been hanging out. Obviously, with the 3060 Ti, the 12 gig is going to help you more than the performance advantage of the Ti in this game for sure. And I don't the Core i5, the 10 series. Let me look that up. Was that a 6-core processor? What is it? A 10500? Yeah, it's a 6-core. pretty sure the 10500. Isn't it crazy, real quick on a side note, that the 12th generation is a 18? No, is it? It's an 8 core, 8, 9, 10. It's a 12 core. Yeah, I have an i5 12500H laptop, and it has a 3050 on it. Real low end card. It'll run 2020 well enough, but it won't. Anyway, yes, you would be. Let me stop rambling about my crappy laptop and help you. Yes, it should run this game more than okay at 1080p with a mixture of medium and high settings. I find personally it looks way better. Let me show you in the settings. I find that it looks way better if you run your texture resolution. Like in your case, I would run this at medium, right? Because that's going to affect all the textures in the game. But come up here and render above resolution, and you get a much crisper look. We can see what happens to performance. Let's see what happens. Save, back. I don't think that made a huge difference in the way things look. Oh yeah, the trees and all that stuff are definitely starting to come back a little better. We're rendering at close to 4K. Let's see. We gotta start descending. Like, I cannot wait for this to be over. This nasal stuff. Okay, so I didn't have, besides a constantly runny nose, last year, I did not have much in the way of any other symptoms of a sinus infection. But when they have begun treating it, I started going through it. There was days where it hurt. There was days where like my nose was so dry, but it was open that even breathing through it hurt. Yeah, it's not fun stuff, man. Oh, deviated septum is bad. Yeah. Here we are. I think we're at the Pierce County Airport. I can't wait for the sun to show up. It's gonna look crazy, crazy. Bicycle build. Oh wow, the bridge actually had space. Wait, so it's gonna be. It won't. Are we? Oh, we're facing east right now. Oh, the double heading click button doesn't work in the G1000. But anyway, what I was saying before, I keep getting distracted by the chat about your 3060, is I would run your render scale, at least 20% above and turn texture resolution down. For some reason, overscaling the game, or I guess that would be super sampling. The super sampling for some reason has way less performance overhead, and when you do that too, you can also turn down things like your anti-aliasing. But you can see we got 20 FPS back just from disabling that. Yeah, it's tough work, man. It's tough work. But yeah, I was saying, I keep getting distracted by my phone and trying to keep up with the other chat. For some reason, oh, there's nobody. There's one person watching on YouTube. Hi, YouTube viewers. Seems like my highest so far is 6 on YouTube, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but like on Twitch, I had my highest on Twitch was like 700. It was great. Chat was very lively. It was a little ignorant, don't get me wrong, but you know, what internet spaces are. My friend was saying, imagine streaming on Reddit. Ooh, doesn't that make you want to go take a shower? Right? Yeah, it's like he was saying, imagine if you had like a live streaming platform on Reddit. We both recently had trouble on that website on the Flight Simulator forum. He commented. I saw him comment on something about how, and I got banned on one account already because of this, but we are getting close.
500.
Anyway, we were talking about, somebody had posted something with a positive view of Flight Simulator, and you know how that goes over. There's like a lot of collective hate. And then he said something about him and his son enjoying the game, which they have been. I've been
500.
enjoying with my son too, and you know, he said the only way his son could enjoy this game if he was in fact mentally handicapped, and the fact that he enjoys the game himself would probably be a good indication that they're both mentally handicapped. And I commented something like, you know, it's an opinion, everyone's allowed to have them, and he goes on this whole diatribe about how opinions are wrong, or opinions can be wrong, and blah blah blah, and Hitler had an opinion. And so we went from enjoying Microsoft Flight Simulator to Hitler in like 20 minutes time. Ooh, I'm way off course. This is not gonna be pretty, but alas. I actually don't know where to land at. Are we flying right over it? We're flying right over it, aren't we? The ground has way more
500.
detail, that's for sure. I don't know how much, I don't know, about 4,000 times the amount of detail, but it's definitely more detailed. Anyway, yeah, so I said, you know, really the only mentally handicapped person here is you, referring to the person making these comments in the first place. And then I get a Reddit welfare checkup because I'm trying to commit suicide, and then I get a 6-day ban from the subreddit, from Reddit as a whole, because when I got that, I reported him back, and they accused me of reporting the abuse system. Or, I'm sorry, abusing the report system. I said that all wrong. I guess we're skipping that, huh? Yeah, we gotta get some altitude. Maybe we don't. I should familiarize myself with the colors again on the topography map. Is red like under 1,000 feet, yellow's like between like 1,000. Does it say? Where you get 100, 1,000, over 2,000. Oh, okay. So we were really close to the ground. I will say, this is my first time flying the Kodiak, and it's also very composed. I think SimWorks Studios makes this. They had a very controversial Pilatus PC-12, which, you know, we might give that a go next, actually, because a lot of people said that the flight model is terrible, and I'm no pro at the Pilatus, but I'm very familiar with the Pilatus, as those of you know. And yeah, the rudder pedals and the alien and the yoke are attached to each other to a certain degree, but in a situation where you need to cross control, you still can. It's just more rudder. You can overcome it. It's like, imagine if like 0% was neutral controls and 100% is full deflection, right? In between like 30 and 60%, it's linked. And then after 60%, it's still linked, but it can be manipulated in the other way. And by percentage, I mean the amount of force you gotta put into it. Let's see if I can do some good old bush landings. Because I am not a stall pilot. My biggest struggle in flight school was definitely soft field landings at first. Then I got very good at them, but 500. I was just overthinking it, really. Wow, I will say that we are kind of in the middle of nowhere on Juan Island, and even this, like, whatever terrain is, I mean, I feel like I'm at least in Skyrim. How old am I? I will tell you without revealing too much, because I do have a quite public and forward-facing aviation job, and I kind of want to keep these separate for now, until I see where this goes. But I don't even remember the question now. Oh, how old am I? Yeah, sorry. Well, I get a little nervous when we tiptoe around that kind of stuff, just because I do have the desire to remain at least a little anonymous. Yeah, but I'm in my 30s. Early 30s. I'm younger than 35. No, that, look at what that user, the fishing guy, that's one of my real life friends. Yeah, he could tell you. Oh, there's some animals right there. Oh wow, that sounds good. You know, not for nothing, but this does look pretty good for raw power rendering. We gotta take off in the other direction anyway. I do not. Does anybody know how to set trim on this plane? I don't remember. I mean, I guess I could do the overhead display. Let's do that, just so I can do it the right way. Because I remember when we went on that flight that he had to give it either a ton of nose down trim before takeoff or a ton of nose up trim. I cannot remember, but he was on that trim switch for like a good 3 seconds. It was a lot. Um, so I'll do it this way. I'm gonna cheat. Where's the overhead display? Hot air balloon. general graphics. Where is is it in accessibility? User interface, font, controls, assistance. Man, I hate that sniffle. Oh, it makes me cringe. Flight path, taxi ribbon, active waypoint marker, turbulence. The turbulence is ridiculous. I'm turning that up. Let's have some fun. I have no idea where the heads up display is. There's like, it has like two modes. It has like the full visual and then the full reduced and like off. Let me watch. We're gonna Google it on my phone, and I bet it's the comments are gonna have two fucking idiots fight. Sorry, I am so sorry. It's so annoying. But yeah, there'll be two chumps chumping it up in the comment section about whose PC sucks and you're not flying the plane correctly, and the guy's never gonna get his question answered. Let's see. How do you? Isn't that crazy? Because when somebody posts on online, like we are, it's absolutely crazy to assume that let me just Google this. It's crazy that like somebody will chime in and be like, "Can you check Google?" When like for the longest time until and even now with like things like Chat GPT, like if you were to pose your search in the form of a question for the longest time on the internet, you would get results based off like your entire questions. It would be like everything with the word "what" in it, and everything how and how to and every comment how to turn on, like the search would be so broad. It just found everything. Let's see, go to settings, go to general tab, go to flight interface, general flight interface. Oh dude, I didn't even see you commented exactly this. I'm so sorry. I've got my head in my phone. Okay, external camera view minimal. Let's just put it on. Yeah, I remember it had three different settings. Whee! We're going off the road. So now we can set the trim. See, it's a ton of nose up trim. That's what I thought it was. Or nose down trim. I guess this thing just generates a ton of lift. We're not dropping any frames just yet. Let's see, where should we go? These things make like a lot of clicking sounds. Let me see. Sorry, I'll read that. I kind of got the general idea. Hold on. I'm sorry. I would answer that right away. I don't know enough about this plane. So let's see, where are we going now? Alright, to answer your question real quick, will it... That would be more than fine. Now, I don't know what version of the 3080 you have. Your CPU is fine. It's a 12700K. Or, oh, okay, you upgraded to... Oh, interesting. A Core Ultra. What do you think about that? Because I have I guess what would be the equivalent of like an i5 Core Ultra sitting in a box over here, but I have not played with it. I don't even have a motherboard for it. I thought I did, but it's a LGA, whatever the 11th gen is on. And that was completely my fault. You had options in the Amazon post or the Amazon listing they had like the different colors. Like I thought I was picking a color and I wanted a black one. And the black one that I selected happened to be whatever the 10th or 11th gen Intel. I think those are both on the same socket, but Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Let's see. Where are we at? Let's go. Yeah, let's go here. We probably don't even need. We probably don't even need GPS, but we'll do it anyway. So we're at 21 whiskey right now. Oh, cool. We're at 21 whiskey, and we'll enter that. And now we're at, what do we need? We'll enter that. Get rid of that. And then, what are we facing? 3-3. Runway 3-3. Enter, and then we need 2 WA0, 2 Whiskey Alpha 0, 2 Whiskey Alpha 0. Called the phonetic alphabet, my man. I can go through it for you. Let's see, what's the wind blowing? No, we don't have any wind right now. Or we do, but I just don't know what it is. And then we'll go to WN76. Oh, I put that in the wrong spot, so we'll just fix it when we get there. Let's go. How many is it? It's only 9 miles. Well, we're gonna be up and down pretty quick, I guess. So the reason why I came here specifically is I had a bunch of scenery that all came as like one pack that I got for free on Flight Sim TO, and it had 25 airports and airstrips out here, and it had gravel strips where you could basically practice taking off and landing and stuff like that. Am I full? Ooh, yeah, that's not. That's right. I wonder how the yaw damper logic is on here. Let's turn it on. Oh yeah, I can feel it. That's great. Yaw damper? I'll just go through it real quick. So, where's it at on the G1000? Is this the slip indicator? Anyway, so assuming that you know what a coordinated turn is, and that's basically when I'll show you real quick, dramatically, but real quick. When you want to turn, you can and tilt the yoke, and you keep this, you would keep the ball like separated, and you know, you could, if you're like too dramatic with the rudder, how do I explain it? So when you're in a coordinated turn, you can end up in a situation where you like slip, right? See, we're like slipping. If you look, I'll show you. I got my hands on control. Up here, you can see when I add rudder but no aileron, we end up like in a slip. And a coordinated turn will reduce that slip. Now, slip isn't always a bad thing. I'll say that again. It is not always a bad thing. But when you're in a capacity like say for example, this was like my flight in Aspen some years ago, right? And we had a bunch of people back here. Slips towards the tail feel way more extreme than they do up in the cockpit, right? Well, weather just updated. Anyway, yeah, so it helps reduce that. Now, every aircraft has varying degrees to what the yaw damper does once it's once you turn it on, right? Like, some will completely take over the rudder inputs, and you won't have to do anything at all. Wow, this thing needs a lot of trim, way more than I'm used to. Oh, it's raining. I love when it rains in this game. Do we have an inertial separator? I think I saw that. Hello, inertial separator. Yeah, some yaw dampers will completely take over like everything. Oops, we are high. pretty sure. Is that it right there? Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Should we do the mountain go around? Oh, we're dive bombing right now. This thing's got some massive flaps. Look at that. We're putting so much stopping power down. Oh wow, this is a cute little airport. That's right, I said it was cute. Is this it? Again, I don't know. Is this it? I might put her down here anyway if it... Oh wait, it looks like it's a little bounce. Oh, it's a road. Oopsie. Oopsie. Sorry. 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 Can you imagine driving down this road in Alaska and you see that? Yeah, when I looked at the GPS, I was like, I look like I'm at least 2 miles away from this airport. And yeah, I'm 1.5. So maybe when I said 2, I was that close. We'll have to see what the airport says. This is a view I wish I could have in my Airbus. Like above the plane, like maybe 10 feet above the plane, 15 feet above the plane. Oh, the Cayman Islands? Where I live? Yeah, I mean, it's... So, I am originally... So I was born just outside of Russia, but I've lived in the United States from... Well, first I lived in the United Kingdom for like 2 or 3 years. And then I was real young. And then came to the U.S. by the time I was maybe like 10... No, not 10. I moved to Florida. We moved to New Jersey. I'm trying to remember the order. We moved to New Jersey first, briefly lived in Connecticut. Then we moved in Florida when my dad got a job at Continental, which was an airline that was around back in the day. But, yeah, long story short, so he was based out of Tampa and then Miami. And then when he got switched to Miami, we stayed in Tampa. Then he got moved to Grand Cay and in the Bahamas, and that's when we moved. My mom wanted to 500. Be back under British rule, essentially, and so they moved to the Cayman Islands and got their British. They repatriated. So, I'm a Russian Brit, and yeah, I don't have much of an accent at all. If anything, I have a bit of a southern accent. My parents will make fun of the way I say things sometimes. They'll be like, "Y'all, we should have never moved to Florida." So they're just being cute, 500. But they're funny, I guess. I don't know. My son's been walking around saying like, "That's cute," real arrogantly, because that's what mommy says sometimes, and so they got me saying it now. Dude, right? Performance is incredible on this one. I hope you're enjoying it, man. I'm working on a series where I go all the way back to NVIDIA 900, GTX 900 series, and we try to get it to work with various combinations of hardware. I never finished saying this before because I always get distracted by the chat. I gotta get better at that. Anyway, the purpose of it is because it's gonna. The way I've noticed this is there's 2 types of simmers, really. Well, there's 2, and within one of those types, there's like a phenotype, if you will. Anyway. So you have like the casual gamer who, he may even go out and buy a joystick, but at the same time, he may not. And then you have the other guy who takes it a lot more seriously, and he'll even like begin to study aviation and do stuff by the book in the sim because it's a simulator and it simulates aircraft, and you can do that if you have the right products. And they may go balls to the wall with hardware like I do, but if you can build a computer around the needs of flight sim. But I guess what I failed to say about the casual simmer is that they play other games, so they just kind of need like decent performance. But if Flight Simulator, X-Plane, or Microsoft Flight Simulator are going to be the main games you run, and like me, the newest game I play besides this is Red Dead Redemption 2, and that can run on a potato nowadays. But yeah, anyway, I'm making videos for that second type of person who may be building a system, or they got into it when they already have a system and they're looking to upgrade, because I have one of my friends operates basically the only tech repair place that's here, and he buys a lot of used parts online for his customers, and he has like a small portion of his business is also building like gaming PCs, and he sells them mainly just here, but he has sent some to the US ironically, which doesn't make sense because our prices here, yeah, it's Cayman Computer, yeah. So anyway, let me kick on that autopilot for a second. It's raining. Well, yeah, so I get a lot of parts from him, and he's been helping me put this together with a litany of older parts. And, I did go out and buy some new stuff too, because I needed some good, like mid-range-ish components to boot anyway. So, we're going to focus on a lot of things that matter to Flight Sim. And for me, I personally have noticed that it favors L3 cache. That's why the X3D CPUs are so good. But there's an entire line of older Xeon chips that can be had for relatively cheap, anywhere from like $90 to $110 with a compatible motherboard. And they don't have 96 megabytes of L3 cache, but they have 64. And some of them, and I'll be announcing it soon, some of them have just as they are maybe like 12 to 13 FPS slower than the 5800 X3D. For some reason, obviously 7800 X3 is better for obvious reasons, but yeah, I'm still on my quest for an old server chip that will do, this kind of stuff good. Also, memory speed. You can get away with if you want to stick with a newer system like AM5, and also get a ton of extra performance out of Microsoft Flight Simulator, RAM timings. And Microsoft Flight Simulator, this one, 24, is even more dependent on RAM timings. It's crazy, and that's more of that's more of an AMD thing, and I'm not exactly sure why. For some reason, AMD CPUs do take a massive performance hit when there's what's called a cache miss, and a cache miss, like the computer cache miss, as in it missed something out of the memory. Whenever that transfer doesn't go through, it has to wait 2 clock cycles to I don't know why that is, but it's not just one clock cycle. Like when the memory comes back around to that address again, it can't retrieve the data. So for some reason, this comes at a massive performance penalty. And if you want to go really see this game perform bad, and any game perform bad, install or go into your BIOS and make your RAM timings hilariously big and slow. Like your day-to-day computing experience is not going to be that bad, but some games will probably even run decently enough if they don't have insane system requirements. But this game 24, when you do that, and I have screen recording of it, it is so bad. And now the RAM is stable, it's just slow. So RAM timings are important. And I did have up on my, I did make I can show you guys real quick since I did set up for this video. No, it's not. We want send timings. Yes. This is what we want. Right here. Where'd it go? Boom. This is about the loosest I can go on memory timings for 4. And this is for a dual rank setup. Do not copy these down if it's a 32 gig kit, all right? Because I do not know if it'll work on a 32 gig kit. This is for 64 gig dual rank. This is about as slow as I can go before there is significantly. Now on a stock Expo profile, this is much faster than the Expo profile that comes with this RAM. This is some Corsair Vengeance something or other. I don't remember. Dominator, maybe. Corsair Dominator. I don't remember what the actual model is. But, yeah, this gave me about 18 FPS higher on a 7700X system that we have here. And it also improved the 1% lows by over 40 FPS, and that's granted that your card is capable of getting over 40 FPS in the first place, but that's what we observed. Yeah, so yeah, if you wanna copy these down, and this would be for your 64 gig kits. I have another one for 32 gig kits, so. Well, when we get there, we'll get there. But RAM timing is just so important for some reason in this game. And 2020 as well. Although it is orders of magnitude less sensitive. I have only had... So out here, we're on Starlink, right? So I'm doing this over Starlink. Or I'm sorry. We do have fiber out here, and my house has fiber as well. It's just not reliable. And so when I stream, I stay on. I usually do it over Cyberlink, or what's it called? Starlink. Yeah, I had that. Now for some reason there is a British military something or other here. It's not like a secret thing or whatever, but whatever they do over there, sometimes the ISP will send out a text message that the internet will be out temporarily. So I went out and got a Starlink because there was a time around the end of last year where we lost our terrestrial or our fiber internet connection, and I think it's fed into a satellite anyway at the end. I actually don't know for sure, but yeah. So yeah, memory timings, and obviously CPU and GPU are important, but if you're going to do a flight sim only system, you may benefit from an 8th or 10th or 12th generation Xeon, and they can be had for pretty cheap, especially the 8th and there are a few of them that have 64 megs of cache. We need some anti-ice. Where's prop heat? Is there no prop heat? Yeah, when you have the turbulence on high, it gets ridiculous, doesn't it? I wonder, so, personally, alright, so that's why there's a big delay on Twitch. That's a good question. I appreciate you coming over to YouTube. One, YouTube is my preferred service to stream to because I prefer using this PC, and there is very little performance penalty with AMD and AV1 encoding. H.264, it's not a bad performance hit either. It's maybe like 5, sometimes 10 FPS. My problem with it is the AMD 264 encoder kind of sucks. It's better than the generation before, but the generation before definitely didn't have a high, what would you call it, like a didn't have much to hold a candle to. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm distracted again. So, anyway, as I was saying, the reason why the delay is so big is I have to stream on Twitch. I'm using the NVEC encoder on a different computer that's getting the stream information, and it's using it's like a 3050 or a 2070. I honestly do not remember. Yeah. So doing actual video recording too, like doing screen cap through OBS or through the Adrenaline software, ironically, it's not bad either. So it does have a performance penalty. Streaming for some reason, especially AV1, it's like you're not even doing anything extra with the card. Not to mention the card has 20 gigabytes of video memory, so it, what do you mean? Anyway, real quick, I'll address you in a second, because that's not true. But anyway, the AV1 encoder is like nothing at all, and I think the fact that it has 20 gigabytes of video memory helps that too, because I can see in my resource monitor that OBS is, using the card is using OBS. The card is using memory for, I don't know if it's OBS commanding it or the card commanding it, something is the video record is using like 850 megabytes, and that is no. Well, anyway, real quick, I saw this comment here that is woefully not true, but yes, the new card. Yes, the new card from AMD only has 16 gigabytes. I don't want to say only because that's still great. But the 7900 XT has 20 gigabytes and the XTX has 24. Yeah, if you just look it up. Anyway, somebody else said something about this. We talk about hardware a lot on here. That's what I want to do. That's why I want to focus on doing this hardware stuff anyway. I love when it starts to rain. Yeah, so I don't know. We do have a 9070 XT as well. It is a great 500. Card. It's a great card. I wasn't gonna buy it at first because one of my nieces wanted it, or nephews. Is that the boy one? Is that the boy one? Nephew. My nephew wanted that 5070. I think. Yeah, I think it was a 5070, and I was like, okay, whatever. Like I'll do it because I did. He was like the only one who was like semi-computer literate. He's a little bit of a fanboy. I mean, I'll admit that I've been glazing AMD, but lately for Flight Simulator. But my experience with AMD cards in this game has been incredible versus my NVIDIA experience so far. Anyway, we did set out to. We did set out to get a 5070, and we tried, and we waited from launch, and then I was like, all right, I'm willing to. I was like, just because he doesn't know it's closed. I was like, just because he deserves it, and like he really earned, he really wants it, and like I feel bad too because he would come over here, and his mom is not in a situation to be buying gaming pieces and whatever. So okay, cool. I'll get it for you. And anyway, we set out for the 5070, and we wanted one from day one, and that was fine. And I was willing to spend more, like close to 1,000 on it. Still couldn't find one at that price. And then I think the 5080 popped up at Micro Center in Orlando, Florida. We were in Tampa at the time. So we went down there, and it was an open box. And at that price, I was a little bit uncomfortable with doing an open box. So I didn't get it. And then the 9070 XT launched, and he was sold on that. And that's how we ended up with this card, or with the 9070. This XT is also an open box special too. I got that. I had a buddy who bought it, got cold feet about AMD, and I was like, he returned it to Best Buy, and I went back and picked it up, and it was missing the rack in the box, like the GPU support, and I went to his house and picked it up. It was pretty funny, but let's get rid of that. So that's that, guys. Let's see. It's 12:30 at night over here. I think it should be around 12:30. Yeah, it's around 12:30. Maybe we got room for one more. Guys, if you would be kind. Those of you who are on my Twitch days are numbered. I'm gonna continue to stream on YouTube no matter what because I have a practical setup for streaming on Twitch, and also not too like a lot of you guys are cool, but I've had that. I mean, I've been doing this for intermittently for only 6 months, and I've already had to recruit two of you guys to moderate because of the bots and all that stuff. And so it's the same thing on YouTube, Flight Sim for All. And my days are numbered. I have an impractical setup. I have like a with the way they did it in like 2015. I have like a streaming PC that's also attached to this one. That's got an NVIDIA card that can do the NVEC encoder. So it's whatever the slowest card that can do NVEC is. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's as old as the 20 series now that I think about it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. We'll probably fire up one more stream here. I'm going to do it exclusively on YouTube because I want to close the door. Everybody's sleeping here. So I'm still awake, though, and I got time off from work. So, let's do it, guys. I'll definitely be live on YouTube if anybody wants to come over. If not, I'll just be screaming into the void. But either way, I do appreciate you guys so much for stopping by. It's a humbling. I didn't think that anybody would find me interesting at all, And I'll get over this sinus issue because I can have the audio monitor in the background, and every time I hear, that's all I can hear is the sniffle. You can't hear my voice, but it's loud enough for me to hear that. Anyway, thank you so much, and you guys have a wonderful evening or morning or whatever, and I'll be back in about 15. I'm going to take a quick break. Peace.